faculty colleagues and dear students, on behalf of School of Management Sciences, I, Dr. Pallavi Pathak, extend a heartfelt welcome to all of you to the HR Conclave on the theme Industry Institute Joint Overture to Secure Foot in Door. I feel elated to share that we have with us today a few very prominent experts representing the HR firmament of the corporate India. Mr. Shaleen Manik, CHRO, Transsion India, New Delhi. Mr. Girish V, Head Business HR, Exide Industries Ltd, Kolkata. Ms. Ruchi Chilana, Group Head HR and Admin, Gateway Distriparks Ltd, New Delhi. And Mr. Karthikeyan, Head HR, Focus Softnet, Hyderabad. A very warm welcome to all of you. On one hand, industries are seeking talent that is agile, adaptable and future-ready. On the other hand, institutes are committed to ensuring their students not only secure placements but also thrive in their careers. The real challenge lies in bridging this gap, and that is what exactly we'll be exploring through our discussion today. To lead us to this important dialogue, we are honored to have a distinguished panel of leaders, each bringing deep expertise, diverse industry perspective, and a strong commitment to shaping the future of work. In this conclave today, we are going to gain practical insights on many queries related to career aspirations, preparations needed to secure jobs, and the placement opportunities. I request Mr. Shaleen Manik, Mr. Girish V, Ms. Ruchi Chilana, and Mr. Karthikeyan to step forward to light the lamp. I request Director Professor P.N. Jha, Mr. D.K. Tripathi, Professor Avinash Sukkar, and Professor Amitabh Pandey to join the dignitaries. And the ceremonial launch. Darkness lead us to light, from ignorance lead us to the truth. I further request all the dignitaries to garland the statue of Goddess Saraswati to seek her blessings in the quest for knowledge and excellence. Dear guests, now you all are requested to raise their eyes and have your seats. Mr. Shaleen Manik, Mr. Girish V, Ms. Ruchi, and Mr. Karthikeyan, along with Professor P.N. Jha. At the same time, I request our moderators for today's session, Professor Avinash Sukkar and Professor Amitabh Pandey, to join the dignitaries. May I request Professor Sanjay Saxena to present the bouquet to our first panelist, Mr. Shaleen Manik, CHRO, Transsion India. Mr. Shaleen Manik. Vice President, Training and Placement, to present the bouquet to Mr. Girish V, Head Business HR, Exide Industries Ltd. Next, may I ask Mrs. Bhavna Dikshit, GM of Corporate Affairs, to welcome Ms. Ruchi Chilana, Group Head HR and Admin, Gateway Distriparks Ltd, New Delhi. Head HR, Focus Software Hyderabad. Dr. Anju. Now that the dice is all baked up, I would like to introduce our panel members for the day. Our first speaker, Mr. Girish V, is a seasoned senior HR leader with over 17 years of experience across automotive, manufacturing, agribusiness, retail, and IT and ITES sectors. Currently the head HR at Exide Industries Ltd. He has earlier held leadership roles with Godrej Agrovet, GSFC Agrotech, and BHEL. Known for driving HR transformation, workforce strategy, and building future-ready talent pipelines, he has successfully managed both large-scale organizations and startup ventures, from transforming legacy businesses to nurturing talent in startups. His journey reflects the evolving phase of HR leadership. Please welcome Mr. Girish V with a big round of applause. Next speaker, Mr. Shaleen Manik, brings more than 20 years of HR leadership experience across software, telecom, .com, and mobile handset sectors. He has served in senior roles such as CHRO, HR VP Head, and Head Talent and Performance with reputed organizations including Vodafone, Pitney Bowes, and InfoEdge. Mr. Manik is currently the Head of HR at Transsion Holdings, where he focuses on building inclusive cultures, enabling organizational effectiveness, and supporting business transformation. With his rich experience and focus on creating high-performing inclusive teams, he adds a unique dimension to today's discussion. Our third speaker, Ms. Ruchi Chilana, is the Head of HR and Admin at Gateway Distriparks, with over 19 years of experience across startups and large enterprises. She specializes in performance management, post-merger integration, and people analytics, and is known for designing people systems that enhance both performance and well-being. Alongside her corporate role, Ms. Ruchi also coaches leaders and couples through her practice Vistar Journey from Hope to Wholeness. Her ability to blend people systems with well-being makes her a truly holistic HR leader. Let's give it for Ms. Ruchi Chilana. Our final speaker, Mr. Karthikeyan, is an AI HR coach, cybersecurity specialist, and business consultant with over 21 years of experience in HR and talent management. He currently serves as the head of HR Global at Focus Software, Hyderabad. and has advised startups, incubators and accelerators across India. With expertise in HR analytics, AI in HR, workforce planning and digital trust, he has also collaborated with government agencies on skill development and represented India in Quad country delegation on cybersecurity. Bringing in a futuristic lens with AI and digital transformation, he completes this power-packed panel with thought leaders. Please welcome Mr. Conclave. How honored I feel to introduce these accomplished personalities who have carved a niche for themselves. I'm sure our students would be greatly inspired today. Together, these leaders bring a wealth of knowledge and experience, and we eagerly look forward to their insights on building stronger institute-industry partnerships. I now request our Director, Professor P.N. Shah, sir, to deliver his opening remarks and welcome our esteemed panelists.
सर्वमंगल मांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरणे त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायण नमोस्तुते। सिद्धे साध्य सतामस्त प्रसादा तस्य भूजटे जाह्नवी फेन लेखेव यं मूर्धनि शशिनः सर्वा बाधा प्रशमनं त्रैलोक्यस्याखिलेश्वरी एवमेव त्वया कार्य मस्मद्वैरिविनाशनम्। Honorable guests, Mr. Shaleen Manik, CHRO, Transsion India, New Delhi, Mr. Girish V, Head Business HR, Exide Industries Ltd, Kolkata, Ms. Ruchi Chilana Gera, Group Head HR and Admin, Gateway Distriparks Ltd, New Delhi, Mr. Kartikeya Kumar, Head HR, Focus SoftNet, Hyderabad, my colleagues and moderators in this program, Professor Avinash Chandra Sukkar and Professor Amitabh Pandey, my colleague and Head of the Training and Placement Cell, Mr. D.K. Tripathi, Vice President, Corporate Affairs, my other academic and administrative colleagues present here, and my very, very dear students, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a matter of collegiate exuberance and immense satisfaction for the entire SMS fraternity that we have been organizing today an HR Conclave on the topic Institute Industry Joint Overture to secure foot in the door with the blissful presence of 4 corporate titans and HR conductors with a view to further actualize the academic blessings of the Industry Institute Partnership. At the auspicious occasion, I take this opportunity to extend a tempestuous welcome to our most respected guests and all others present in the hall. Sir, School of Management Sciences, Varanasi came into existence in 1995 in the holy city of Varanasi the spiritual heartbeat of India. You know, Varanasi or Banaras, also called Kashi, is one of the oldest living cities in the world. Mark Twain, an acclaimed American author who was deeply enthralled with the legend and sanctity of Banaras, once wrote, "Banaras is older than history, older than tradition, older even than legend, and looks twice as old as all of them put together." Varanasi is equally renowned for its rich tapestry of music, arts, crafts, and education. Some of the world-renowned exponents India has produced in these fields have been schooled in the cultural ethos of Varanasi itself. You are most welcome, sir, to this sacred territory, the land of Lord Kashi Vishwanath and Maya Annapurna. Today, SMS Varanasi has been an autonomous college and has been popular for providing a context that enhances not only professionalism but humanism and social responsibility as well. Accredited with A grade by NAC, the institution is also positioned on the continuum of top 50 B schools of India. At present, you will be happy to know that we have been publishing 5 biannual indexed research journals, namely Management Insight, Purushartha, which is Scopus Index, Computing Trend, SMS Journal of Entrepreneurship and Innovation, and the newly introduced Commerce Research Review. Friends, you might be knowing that B schools and industry, they are believed to be carrying a symbiotic relationship since the very inception of business education. They jointly constitute what is known as the Industry Institute Dyad. As a matter of fact, the managerial education remains incomplete without the academic blessings of the corporate sector. The joint think tank has been doing miracles in terms of research, innovation, and design thinking, which significantly contribute towards the mutual benefit and growth of both industries as well as B schools in respect to fostering economic growth, practical expertise, academic rigor, research commercialization, global competitiveness, and the culture of excellence. Let me express my deep sense of gratitude in acknowledging once again the unwearied cooperation of the corporate sector, which has provided for a major fillip to SMS Varanasi in developing ideally in the world of business education over the past 30 years. My dear students, I have been often telling you about the significance of the Generation Z that you belong to. Very recently, you have seen that what is the potential and power of the Generation Z in the example of our neighboring country, Nepal. That what kind of upheaval you people will bring about. So that great generation you belong to with immense power and potentiality. the people of this generation, they always want to feel as if they are making a positive difference in the world through their actions. They do not see the same artificial dichotomies in their personal and work lives as the people of the past generations, like the silent generation, or the baby boomers, or Generation X, or millennials, or Generation Y. So you are different. You always feel inclined to make certain impact, certain social impact, not just as a form of any ethical compulsion, but as a way of fulfilling your passion. So much passionate you are of doing new things, new impacts. And you know that today the social impact is often led by business. That's why I would ask the students to strive to work for the corporations, because business is that institution which can only derive the societal changes. At the same time, I also feel inclined to apprise to students about a very alarming demographic shift taking place in our country. You might be knowing that there is a term TFR, total fertility rate. This speaks about the average number of children born to any woman in her lifetime. This TFR remained 5.9, almost 6, during 1950s. But now, as per the 6th round of India's National Family Health Survey, it has drastically come down to 1.9 only. You might be knowing that our population replacement level TFR is 2.1. So now this TFR is much below this population replacement level. It means that India has started aging and its population would start declining in the near future. Experts say that this kind of graying population burdens the working age population, that is rural population. That's why this implies other way that you need to have a stronger financial security in future. And for that, either you opt for a very important and supportive placement, robust placement with good quality package, or joining the career of entrepreneurship. So in the light of this narrative, I would like to humbly request these industry stalwarts kindly to shower their precious academic blessings on my students so as to enable them to keep a strong foot in the corporate corridors successful. With an exulting reverence and deep sense of gratitude, I once again extend my hearty welcome to our esteemed guests and wish this joint effort a humongous success. Thank you.
So much, sir, for providing an apt tone to this HR conclave. Dear guests, looking forward to their placements, these students are full of hope, aspirations, and of course, a lot of queries regarding what combination of skills and qualities is often looked for while hiring the freshers. There is excitement as well as anxiety. Fresh graduates often feel a blend of excitement about starting their careers and anxiety about the unknown challenges that lie ahead. But just a moment, dear panelists, I must not forget to introduce the moderators for today's session, Professor Avinash Sukkar and Professor Avinda Pandey, who both are alumni of FMS BHU and are strong pillars of SMS. So now quickly hand over the session to Professor Avinash Sukkar so that a meaningful discussion can start.
Thank you very much, Pallavi Madam. A very good afternoon to the esteemed panelists present here today. Our students are really blessed that you are able to take time out from your busy schedule and accept our invitation to be here and interacting with our lovely students. Most of the students that are sitting in front of you today over here have recently returned from their summer internships. They have had their first glimpse of what the corporate working lifestyle is all about. They have been there for a period of 8 weeks. They are excited, they are anxious, and they indeed have many questions that they would like to ask today from you. And myself and Professor Amitabh will be the moderator of this HR Conclave today. Will be asking some questions to you on behalf of our students, and we'll also be encouraging our students to have a direct interaction with you. So as the format of this HR Conclave goes, it will be more of a question-answer format. We'll be asking some questions, and later on we'll be inviting the students also to directly interact with our panelists. So in the series, the first question that I would like to shoot to the 4 stalwarts present over here: what excites the recruiters about fresh talent? So anyone can feel free to please reply to this question.
Hello. So good morning everyone.
Good morning, sir.
So how is the Josh?
Hi,
Very nice. I think you guys have a better Josh than us. But before I start and say anything, I would like to really thank the SMS team for the great hospitality given it to us by the time we landed here. So it's a great team, and I'm really honored to be here in front of all of you. So it's always good to really interact with students, because we have also gone through the same journey from one of the places there to there here, and I'm sure we took almost 20 years to reach this place. I'm sure you're going to reach here in the next 5 years. So that's what we hope, and the kind of talent that we are, the kind of talent that we deal with these days, I am pretty confident and hopeful that your journey from being a student to a corporate leader is going to be in no time. So the question that you asked, Professor, that what do we see in a fresher? Personally, I feel, because whenever I meet a student after a couple of rounds of interview, because there is an assessment that happens, so obviously there is an aptitude test, there is a GD, and then there is a 1-hour round interviews with the business team. When I meet any student, and in fact last year we took a couple of students from this college as well, I see a student how worldly wise that person is. I never talk to him about the internships that much. Yes, I do a couple of questions around that, but generally I feel that how worldly wise that person is, how much informed this person is, what is happening around the tech, what is happening around the world, how much he can contribute and add value if I ask him any question or ask the candidate any question. Is he very nervous, and or maybe he's very inquisitive? I really feel good when I keep getting a lot of questions from that person. A follow-up question. Let's say if I ask somebody a question and say that, sir, this much I know, but can you also help me out that what is going to be the future of that particular thing? So I feel very good about that, because more than interview, I love to have conversations. And trust me, if we have conversations with Gen Zs, we learn most of the time. Rather than we give any yarn to them, we really get a lot of information, learning from them. And that's what the real world wants to be now. In fact, we have a certain, a particular way of doing things, and it's a set rules. We want somebody to come and shake those rules. Really tell us, this is a new way of doing something great, new, how innovation happens, what you have done at different ages, you are an old guy. you have old thinking. I can tell you how things going to be in future. So somebody who can really show us the way, because that's what the future talent is. I want to really get into maybe a voyage with a set of people who can show me a new world. And I'm already a part of the old world. So you guys are the new captain of the ship. I'm going to give you the baton to really sail the ship in future. So if you show me the way, if you tell me that how good you really need to really sail us through the future, and we can really give you a lot of leadership position, your learning will, when get into the action, will help our organization grow faster. I think that kind of conversation I love to do. And trust me, all of you are so talented, and we've been hiring a lot of youngsters over the past 4 years from the top B schools, from various business schools. And I feel really great because I feel that I know so much less, and if I be around you guys, it will be good for me to be in a learning journey. So, but one thing I would like to tell you, and if obviously you're going to sit in the campuses next year, please feel free, the way you are, present yourself to the recruiter, to the interviewer. If you try really show something which I want to see, you will never be able to crack many interviews. But if you share and show what you actually are, how you can really add value to the system, whatever the knowledge that you, I'm sure a great recruiter will find that real aspect in you and pick you up. So sometimes when you see your friend say, oh, he's been so good in the academics, but he's not able to really get through, or she's not able to get through. Why? Because it's all about academics. It's not about that holistic work that the person is doing on themselves. So please work on your personality, work on the meta skills, and I'm telling you, all things that you can learn on the journey, obviously it depends on the job roles, and obviously you will learn with experience doing that. But something, skill set really takes you to the next level, faster. Okay.
Can I just add, or I should say, because question is exciting, so that's why I thought, I always become excited when I meet freshers like you. So, how many of you have watched 3 Idiots? Almost. Great. So, I hope you are okay with the mix of Hindi English, right? I mean, because Hindi से क्या direct current बनता है? तो उसमें एक सीन है, अगर आपको याद है, जहाँ पे वो तीनों धुरंधर जो है लेट आते हैं एग्जाम लिखने के लिए, और लिखते लिखते थोड़ा सा टाइम हो जाता है, और उसमें फिर वो लोग पूछते सर थोड़ा सा टाइम दे दो, थोड़ा सा टाइम दे दो, ताकि वो जो भी लिखना है वो लिख ले और पेपर खत्म कर ले। इस बीच में आपके बीच में भी ऐसा चतुर्लिंगम होगा जो बोलेगा सर एक्स्ट्रा टाइम दे रहे हो, खींचिए पेपर, बहुत हो गया। तो इन्विजिलेटर क्या करता है, वो तीनों को बुलाता है, और बुलाने के बाद क्या बोलता है, पेपर नहीं लेंगे, ठीक है? तो उस टाइम पे रांचो क्या जवाब देता है? सॉरी, हाँ। तो एज अ रिक्रूटर, ये जो आपने बताया ना कि उन्होंने पूछा कि क्या आपको हमारा नाम पता है, रोल नंबर पता है, और उन्होंने बोला जब नहीं, एंड दे कंप्लीटली मेस्ड अप द पेपर। आई वाज also watching one of these shots. It gives a comparison between Vidya versus Vivek. What you are doing here is Vidya, जो हम assume करते हैं कि थोड़ा बहुत जो है आपके अंदर वो ठीक है, but what we are looking is the Vivek, which if I have to translate into simple English, how street smart you guys are, right? And I mean, somebody who knows us or somebody who knows me as a recruiter, they would vouch for this fact that we have one of the most यूनिक रिक्रूटमेंट प्रोसेसेस जो सब लोग जिसके लिए ट्रेन करने के बाद भी फेल होते, राइट? तो एज a recruiter, what I am looking forward from youngsters like you is how street smart, how agile, how flexible and how ready to adjust to that moment. वो कितना आप दिखा सकते हो वो हम देखना चाहते हैं, because at the end of the day at work ये रट्टा मार वाला काम तो चलेगा नहीं, right? That you should also realize, you would by now would have realized during the internships. And us being a sales driven organization and most of you guys actually are very allergic to sales. तो सबसे पहला फैक्टर यही रहता है as a recruiter that how interested you are for the sales domain and how ready or how close you are to take up the sales role. ये टेस्ट करने की जो एक्साइटमेंट रहता है ना, वो शायद it's like testing somebody who wants to get into IIT JEE. So that's the perspective what I thought I should share specifically from a sales perspective, because in general what we have seen that you guys are sort of shy away from the sales role, but eventually घूम फिर के वही करना पड़ेगा. तो जितना जल्दी ये सच समझोगे उतना आप जल्दी तरक्की करोगे. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, sir. First of all, greetings to the panel members. To take the question forward, which Mr. Dr. Avinash Chansukar has asked, that what you look for in the candidate, in a fresher. So my question is, what you do not want to see in the candidate, or what are the red flags during the interview?
I think that's my God. I think that's the best thing. We were discussing in the car today morning. We gave the threat center to the artificial intelligence today morning. I'll tell you guys, I'm very bothered to see these days, young generation. Many of the people, the students, I have the record of rejecting the students with the top CGPA, highest marks. The only reason is there are certain points where they are not aligning to the skills that the industry 4.2 is looking. And number two, what the HR experts. In our generation, when I say, you can call it as 1940s, 1950s, ambassador car generation, right? We were always getting answers from Google, Yahoo. The questions were from the HRs were also from the Google. So we had the predefined questions, predefined answers. This generation is over smart that ChatGPT question answers are in place. That's the second point. If you ask me what kind of person you never wanted to hire, the first point is I wanted to hire a person who has a self-thinking, self-writing ability, who is not dependent on technology, who can decide and design and say instantly, even if I wake him up in the late night and say, if I ask who are you, Karthik, I am so and so, who can explain about him or her for at least 2 minutes. Yes, in the next 20 seconds I can give an offer. I don't want to check any technical skills. Because in my experience, we have taken out employees who are the best in coding, top in employment. But unfortunately, sir, we had to move them out. They never had presentation skill. Imagine you won something in a sport or a game, and if you cannot explain how you did it, what was your strategy behind it, what was your ideology to structure that winning aspect, who will believe in you? You might be a topper, I'm okay. This happened with one of the company hiring where I rejected 2 gold medalists. I'm very proud to say this, but don't mistake me. Because then I had an immediate call from the Vice Chancellor's office. Directly, he said, Karthik, why did you reject the gold medals? Sir, give me an explanation. How did they achieve a gold medal? I gave 20 minutes time. Today I'm never said that I'm a topper, but we're still surviving. We want people who are having instant self-thinking ability. If something comes in, do you have the ability to drive by yourself? हर एक चीज को ChatGPT क्या बोलेगा, Google क्या बोलेगा? That's what we were discussing. Recently, I was at one of the entrepreneurship cell, and I was one of the jury members for startup because I'm on the board of government of Telangana. And the people prepared the PowerPoint presentation so well. Looking at the first slide, second slide, I found it's from ChatGPT. They are not self-driven. And all of a sudden this happened, and I also told ma'am in the morning, there was a power cut in between and the Google Drive was off. अपन का बोल रहा है चले गए निकल गए मामू क्या हो गया man I don't remember what I prepared but even today we prepare our own presentation sitting hours together even we are smart but in thinking not in copying or using technology use it to an extent where it is required don't get a day where we get lazy to breathe by ourselves and carry an oxygen cylinder here put a mask don't let the technology to make us like that. We have a lot of use cases in the morning when we're traveling. So, if you simply ask me, I want somebody who is aligned with Industry 4.0, no matter you have done 10 internships, 20 projects in your curriculum, because I take only 20 seconds to assess a candidate. I just look for two things, what is the name and is the photograph aligning with the candidate or not, that's it. After that, the resume is nothing to do. I will listen to the candidate. I want to see the story building skills. I want to see the instant thinking ability. I want to understand the facts whether they are right or wrong. Then I decide whether it should be done or not. Thank you.
Karthikeyan has already added a few points, and for me, what I reject in the candidate is when they don't know their own story. The first question that I ask them, can you please tell me about yourself since your childhood? And people are lost. They don't know about themselves. And when they don't know themselves, how they can contribute. And second thing is that when they are not authentic. We are not looking for skills, we are looking for being who you are and what you can contribute. So if these two things are not there, then most of, I think, so recruiters will not recruit.
So I just add another point what both of them have said, and absolutely right. So what I recently observed that when I meet the students and we evaluate them, when we talk about the mobility aspect, okay, and since the world of work is changing so fast, what is there with me today may have changed because of business scenarios. So all this while when I meet students, I generally don't hire those set of people who says they have a mobility constant. And this is one aspect I would request all of you, not for the sake of sitting in front of the recruiter and telling I am completely mobile, and after joining you say that, sir, I said so, but I have a limited mobility or I have no mobility. This is a big deterrent in terms of the growth. And looking at the future of work, I am telling you, people who are more mobile or I would say embrace mobility will grow faster. And I will tell you, India is growing extremely fast in tier 3, 4, 5 markets, right? And if everybody is going to pile on in terms of Delhi, Bombay, Chennai, Bangalore, at the end of the day, obviously we have a local talent who is going to be there, who is going to join there, and then we have a massive requirement across. So we will really acknowledge people who will be completely mobile and take a bigger and broader role in the other parts of the country. And I'll give you a specific example also. Let's say if I have a branch manager position and in Jhansi, and somebody who are hired and he done his masters from Delhi, and when I say that, oh, would you be able to take up this role in Jhansi because we are making you a branch manager in 2 years? Somebody said, no, I am not mobile because I want to stay in. But somebody else said that, yes, I am completely mobile and take up that role. I have seen the transition of that branch manager coming on to an RSM level in 4 years, and somebody who stick on to the same role and being in the same, doing the same role for 4 years. So if you are mobile, I am telling you very honestly, you will grow much faster. So never keep mobility as a deterrent in your career, and this is one aspect I clearly tell you that you need to be open. So when I moved on, I worked 2 years in Jammu and Kashmir, Srinagar. I used to be in Srinagar and used to, because I was with Vodafone, and we have taken up a theatre which was closed down because of the militancy. So I used to stay there with my team, network team, in dormitories over a period of 7 days where there is a road pending, curfews and all there. But I never shy away from Vodafone. I've been really gone there because it was a space-time circle. But all that really what it helped me, because there was a senior position in Punjab. So I took over that role where nobody from the country got that opportunity. But since I have really served in a very difficult location, I have given that priority. And similarly, I have really moved across many geographies except for the south. I've been, and I was one of the guys who become the circle HR head the fastest in Vodafone. So mobility is something which can really take you higher, faster in your career, but you should be mentally free of be there. That I would not move it in case it's not going ahead with me. So please, I think that's one thing I would like to mention over and above what you guys have mentioned.
So I just have one thing in a sales perspective, like what ma'am has said. If you don't know how to sell yourself, if you don't know how to sell your resume, no matter whatever your scores are, nobody is ready to hire. Targets are not only marketing and sales, even as HRs, we have targets. To hire people is never easy. To fire people is more tough, which we are managing. So get ready to sell yourself. Let you speak, not just your papers. Yeah, thank you.
So, just एक चीज जो मैं आप लोगों को बताना चाहता हूँ फ्रॉम अ स्टूडेंट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, अक्सर क्या होता है कॉलेज में बहुत सारे कंपनीज आते हैं और एक टिपिकल ट्रेंड है जहाँ पे पहले 100 के 100 लोग अप्लाई करते हैं तो दे गो थ्रू दी सिलेक्शन प्रोसेस एंड टेक्निकली क्या होता है ऑल द 100 पीपल माइट नॉट बी इंटरेस्टेड. So if you guys are not interested, if you don't understand the role, if you are not ready to take up the role, जबरदस्ती selection process में बैठना मत. और बैठने के बाद ये सोचना that ठीक है, you know, when the right time will come, then we will see what will happen, wherein I will choose a offer जो मेरे लिए सही है, मेरे लिए बेहतर है. From your point of view, it's good. But एक चीज आप लोगों को अच्छी तरीके से समझना बहुत जरूरी है. You guys are representing your college, and one action of yours is going to destroy the complete effort whatever the college has made to bring the companies to your doorstep. And this is a big red flag, one of the biggest red flags that you guys don't understand or fail to understand, that your actions are going to cause a massive damage to the college. And that can happen only when you guys have clarity. भाई तुम्हें जो करना है भाई दिमाग में सोच लेना, टेस्ट में बैठने से पहले, सिलेक्शन होने से पहले सोच लेना, क्योंकि एक बार सिलेक्शन हो जाए फिर नखरा शुरू करोगे, अगली बार आपके जूनियर्स मारे जाएंगे. ठीक है, दिस इज समथिंग विच आई थॉट, मतलब जैसा होता है ना हार्ड रियलिटी. सो इफ यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड इट देन एवरीबडी इज एट अ लॉस. ओके, सो प्लीज डोंट डू सच थिंग्स, बिकॉज यू माइट थिंक कि भाई ठीक है कॉलेज वाले हैं, पैसे दिए तो मंगाना पड़ेगा, नौकरी दिलाना पड़ेगा. दैट्स नो ऑब्लिगेशन. यू हैव अ इक्वल ड्यूटी towards the college when they are getting this opportunity for you to maintain the sanctity and the reputation and the respect through your actions. Yeah, so be careful. इसके लिए ज़्यादा ताली नहीं बजाएगी.
A very important myth has been busted today that career and growth opportunities only lie in metros and mini metros. That's what the perception of the students are. So thank you very much, Mr. Manik. Most of the students will be first-time jobbers, right? They'll be taking their first step in corporate life after the completion of their respective courses. What advice would you give to them about their first 90 days in their first job?
I think so. First thing is that curiosity to learn, to understand. 90 days should be just observing and learning rather than criticizing. No place is perfect. but it is very, very important. I learned this a few years back. When you want to correct something, it is very important to connect first. So you have to connect with the organization first to make correction. And we all are ready to be corrected because we know that our perspective and your perspective will be very, very different. So first is the curiosity. Second is the connection that you're going to build with the organization and observation. I think so if you have all these three things, you will be able to adjust in any organization that you become part of. Any team that you can become part of.
Okay. फिर से एक और डेमो देना पड़ेगा the 3 Idiots style. Most of the people when they join the company, they have their own notion about ये चल जाए. ठीक है 2-3 बार डांट पड़ेगी but चल जाएगा. A very small simple example, if you are supposed to report to office at 9:30, 9:31 is not acceptable. As simple as that. अब इस पे 1 मिनट तो है, 2 मिनट तो है, वो 1 मिनट 2 मिनट आगे जाके 5 मिनट होगा, 10 मिनट होगा, 15 मिनट होगा. तो ये सारे चीजों पे when you are not doing your basics right, so that completely takes out the confidence of your reporting managers, because at the end of the day, see, we hire and then we give it to the teams whoever is going to handle you, and we will have a reporting manager. सबसे पहला problem, taking instructions, which it's a typical problem. I can understand, but then at least until and unless you understand the work, you have to learn taking instructions. अगर कुछ चीजें बोला जा रहा है, at least the first 90 days, because the question is about the 90 days, चुपचाप सुनने का है, समझने का है और करने का है. अपना दिमाग 90 दिन के बाद लगाना. Just like what ma'am was telling, right? Connect and then correct. And during those aspects, whatever is the basic hygiene which is expected from you, starting from attending office on time or going to the field on time, to submitting reports, submitting assignments, or whatever has been told to you within the timelines, I think that is what is required very badly during the first 90 days, and more often than not, everybody go wrong during these 90 days not doing it. तो किसी का रिपोर्टिंग मैनेजर का शक्ल पसंद नहीं आया, या उनका अरे वो ऐसे मेरे पेरेंट्स से भी ऐसे मुझसे बात नहीं किया, अंडरस्टूड, बट देन not all the 5 fingers are same, right? So that is something which I strongly urge all you guys as freshers, because you don't have experience and we are investing time, money, effort. So it is an obligation, I would say, that you have to abide by the instruction what the company gives in general.
One more word to add to this. The first 90 days, we used to term it in older days, I'm not sure what we call it these days. The 90 days of the training, we call it as honeymoon period. Very happy times. People have to have nice break times, you enjoy your training, you have a leisure time, everything is good. But the fact is, there is some black devil behind which you can never see, who is monitoring what you are doing. Now the first thing what you need to do for the first day when you step into an organization, whether it's a college or a company, is do you take the ownership of the organization? I'm not asking you to get the college or your name or company on your name. Do you take the ownership means it's my organization, how far am I responsible in dealing with this very professionally, like sir has said, coming in time, reporting properly, and then making sure your punches are made on time. Most importantly, how are your learnings going? Managers will say your assessments are done once in 1 week or 10 days or 15 days. Honestly, everyday assessment will goes, everyday report goes, and many have a perception, if I don't perform, I have a retraining. That is where Industry 4.0 came and says, no retraining boss, are you industry ready? We have only 15 days of training time. If you are not ready, please leave the space. And if you think you are really not ready, don't even come for the interview. Industries have no time to interview today, train today. And the most important factor is, AI is in place, keep this in mind. I was giving a lot of examples in the morning. I know the hotels where robots are working, not the servers. Robots are working, they are coming, dropping the plates, picking the plates and going out. Now imagine whether it's a marketing or CS or an HR, and unfortunately our HR stream, I'm sure you are aware of the news, IBM has started taking out big number, and yesterday Google has announced a big number of HR terminations. Terminations we cannot stop. Upskilling is something we need to do. The first 90 days is a period where you unlearn and relearn. What you learned in college is something. What you have to learn for the industry is first 90 days. If you can sustain, to be very honest, as a trainer for Indian Army SSB, I can say it's as tough as it is. If you are able to sustain for 90 days in the company training, until company says you can still sustain the company. But that 90 days is very tough. Don't take it light, not a honeymoon time. And many cases were there where we saw abscondings happening. At the end of the day, the impact is again on your college, will blacklist it. Don't get that situation. Right? Thank you.
So rightly mentioned by both of them, I would only say when we hire people, we say that the first 3 months are the probation period, right? Everybody here. So I would say the first 3 months are the notice period. I'll tell you why. So first 3 months are the notice period because I am not connected to that individual whom I hired, right? I don't know you, I don't know your behavior. Even if you come, you go, I hardly matters. I can always say that it was a hiring error and nobody can question me. A lot depends on the individual who got hired, and I would strongly say that whatever they say, I just sum up in 3 letters in terms of 3 Ds. Okay, first, as Girish has rightly mentioned, discipline is very, very important, not for the freshers. In fact, even if I join a new organization tomorrow, I need to be disciplined. Discipline in terms of my approach, in terms of going to the meetings on time, contributing, sharing reports, thoughts, all that. So all of you need to do that. Discipline is important. And there is a very wrong notions about Gen Zs that you are indisciplined. But I don't see that unless you prove us wrong. So discipline is something is very, very important. The second aspect I feel that it is important for you is the second thing, which means displaying right behavior. So there are stories of Gen Zs in the organization where we see there are behavioral issues initially, right? Maybe they are not doing it intentionally, but it shows like that there are behavioral issues. Okay? So the second thing is display right behavior. And third, it is universally that do it. All eyes on a person who joins newly in an organization, whether it is at an entry level, mid level, senior level, because everybody is questioning the hiring decision. Have I taken the right decision in hiring this person? Whether it is fresher or maybe we are hiring 15, 20 freshers, so we can always say that no. If you have hired somebody, there is going to be an eye on that person. Have you taken the right decision? So how you can prove the person that somebody has taken the right decision is to make sure that you perform. And remember, I always tell people, the first 3 to 6 months, depending on the position, it's not about probation period, it's notice period. You really need to work hard. The last time when you really work for a company for a couple of years, and then there is a honeymoon period. So the term has changed, because every time now a person resigns after serving, then there is a honeymoon period. Obviously there is a relaxation from both sides, either to attend meeting, not attend, nobody will call you in that meeting, either you want to attend that meeting, psychologically you are out of that organization also, nobody needs your services that way, because the more focus goes into replacement hiring rather than really. So that actually is a honeymoon period. The first 3 months and 6 months are the notice period, because everybody is looking at you, what are you doing, have I taken the right decision? So guys, when you pick up a job, make sure that except for you, ideally you should also have a self-awareness. I am on the notice period for the first 3 months. I am going to really perform well. And once this 90 days goes over, you yourself will see your bosses will become your friends. Your colleagues will become your maybe good gossip partners also, because everybody like to have fun after work and so. But in the first 3 months, you will find the most challenging period in the organization. But how you can prove yourself as a worth? By displaying good behavior, being disciplined, and make sure that you do it with your work so that people will that, oh, the guy has really made a difference after joining, and I could see a lot of changes there. So make sure that you remember these 3 Ds when you join an organization. I'm telling you, when you complete your, I would say probation period only, not notice period, you will be happy, and most of you will be fly off with that letter which is called confirmation letter. Thank you.
Maybe we can take a couple of questions from the students before we progress. Anyone?
Anyone from the audience wants to ask a question?
Yes, Ms. Divedi. Please, mic लेके जाइए वहाँ.
मुझे लगा था 50 हाथ तो उठेंगे, तो मुझे केवल 2 ही देखे.
Momentum.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good afternoon to panel members. Sir, my name is Sakshi Devi and I am from MBA. Sir, my question is to Manik sir. Sir, I want to ask you that as we are students, we think of big brands. Like big brands are offering great experiences that we want to join a company like big brands. But on the other hand, small startups are also offering us a great learning. So what would you think that what factors should a fresher consider before choosing a company?
Great question. Hello. Hello. Yeah. Great question. Please have a seat. I'll answer your question best of my abilities. It all depends. Earlier it was a myth that I would like to be a part of an organization or campus placement where big companies are coming. Now there is enough opportunity for somebody to join a startup and grow faster. Because today a startup, tomorrow maybe they are unicorns. So earlier India was in an era where only the established organization, legacies organization are giving you sustainable experience in terms of people. Now if you see, a good organization can really brought about such a good policies which even an experienced organization may not have thought over it. So I don't remember the name of the company, or if I remember I don't want to take, they have actually started with a policy for females wherein during the monthly cycles they have given a 2 days off. Even the legacy organization where they are talking about D&I, inclusivity, they never thought of that. A starter came and thought about it. Yes, it is also a pretty much a need, because obviously it's a difficult time for them to really work. And it's a game changer. It was all over there on LinkedIn. And we can take an experience from there itself. So earlier it was, the only thing as a fresher you should always think about it, how much empowerment this company is going to give it to me if I pick up a job. Have I able to really explore all my skills, whether I get an experience to do mistakes, and in fact I will be clapped upon, or maybe I will be encouraged to continue to do mistakes but still learn faster. So your growth is going to be immense. And startups also giving good packages these days. Earlier, since I was a startup, I said I will not be able to pay you that well. Those have gone on the days, right? Startup pays really decent compensation. Good career experience, best of the offices, right? State of the art offices in the best of the cities. So it does not matter now whether you are joining a startup or a maybe established organization. If I would have been at your place and would have looked forward to an organization, I would say, what is the role that I am going to get in? Will this role help me to build my career, the kind of skills that I want to pick it up? That's second. And how much empowerment and freedom to work that I get. So any organization which gives you maybe 9 to 5 job, and tells you to come to office, and another organization today, if gives you that this is your task, do it, but I need a quality output. It all depends on the individual to pick the job there. Some people say, I will prefer to go with 9 to 5 job. That's the choice the person can make. Another set of candidate can think it over. I believe in something, finish it about quality output. Does not matter whether I go to office or not. So it all depends. Now, there is enough basket for the student to pick it up. You need to really check what is your appetite, how much hungry are you, and what kind of food that you want to really have it. And that's the thing that you can do. So I hope I'm able to answer your question.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So I'll again come back to the discussion which we were having. We were discussing the first 90 days, the honeymoon period, the notice period. So one critical problem that we both are facing, the institute as well as the organizations, the early attrition problem. Most of these students, most of the time we see that the students leave their first job within a matter of 6 months or so. So, first of all, what are the habits the student should develop to stay for a longer term in an organization? I think some of the habits you have already talked about, but I want to spend some more time because this is a very critical problem that we are facing. And then what are the ways in which the student should take the pressure, the feedback or the failures that they might happen to encounter during first few months? And also from their point of view, what is the impact of this early attrition on their career trajectory? If you could throw some light on these things. Because they should also understand, like sir was hinting that it's not only the loss of the college. You also have something to lose and you have to take the ownership of that. So if it comes from your mouth, I think that will make some impact here.
Building resilience and endurance.
Yeah.
So, like we were discussing the same point. Number one is, how good are you with the people? See, whenever you enter in an organization, nobody knows you in the first instance. Number two, whenever you are into a project or into a training or something, the first and foremost important is how good are you with people and what sort of rapport you are building on a professional note, not on a personal note, please. On a professional note. Because definitely you will have challenges in terms of learning. You will not know where to go, whom to ask, what to be done. So that's the one point where you need to actually identify who is my next immediate person whom I can speak with if I have a challenge. The reason is, if you keep on skipping, it's okay, I'll research, it will become like a Google doctor, point number one. Many of us take a doctor's medicine without going to the doctor, but researching on Google. I have a headache, I'll go for a doctor. I have a fever, I'll go for Dolo. But that's not the case. Now, second point, if you are not consistent in an organization, what will happen? Every 6 months you are changing, every 1 year you are changing. Who is going to actually see the consistency? There are 5 alphabets in the life. The first 5 in alphabets are A, B, C, D, E. Your attitude, your behavior, your character, your discipline, and your ethics. If all these 5 doesn't fall in place at one point of time, whether you are a student or as in a corporate company, whether it is a startup or a big company, wherever, as a student or as an employee, even if one fails, we are gone. Ensure that we are sitting in an organization with rightly learning, rightly delivering, and ensure a minimum consistency of 2 years is, as far as my knowledge is concerned, we can look at it as a very good experience. If you are changing every 1 year, why? What is the reason? We have 100 questions and we have to do a background inquiry. Why are you shifting every time? No, if people do this, that also impacts on the college. Your students are not being consistent, they are changing everywhere. Even during internship, we have these challenges. I had companies who came back to me saying, Karthik, you referred few students because there are 2,600 plus startups in Hyderabad and I'm on the board of 100 plus startups into advisory level. When I recommended students, the students bounced back within 10 days. They were not able to take the pressure levels, they were not able to report on time, they were not able to learn the things the way. No sir, this is not a college anymore. Corporate has its own policy, its own learning mechanism. You like it or you don't like it, you join, you learn. If you are really a challenge, talk to your manager. but ensure you are in the system. Learn from the people. Be consistent. After 90 days, once your training is done, continue with the more motivation. Ensure that that's when your goals will start. What am I in this organization after 2 years? Or else in the 90 days you will decide that I can really be there here for 1 or 2 years. So ensure your consistency matters a lot. Don't immediately start researching on Naukri after 1 year. What is my next package? What should I do? Which company is offering better? There are any number of companies that offer. But as long as your company is offering your growth, and don't expect the growth happens within 6 months of your joining. It takes 2 years, 1.5 2 years is the minimum. We need to assess your performance. We have a lot of appraisals to do, lot of parameters to see, and also we'll review a lot of things around you. We'll put you on learnings, where weekly, monthly learnings will be there. You need to complete all those. If you are able to do all these things, you don't have to come to CNHR, sir, what is my appraisal? We'll only come to you and say, boss, you did well, you are promoted to this next level. And your numbers are increasing. So maintain that consistency. Ensure that your learnings are done with the highest, utmost dedication. Have a good rapport with your managers. After 90 days, yes, obviously we'll be very friendly with all of you at a professional note. But at the same time, we'll still be monitoring what you do. But never ever try to sweep a company for 6 months, 1 year. No, I don't really advise. A minimum consistency of 2 years is something we barely respect. Thank you.
So, there are certain things which you will have to understand when you decide to join a company, and then within 3, 6, 9, 12, whatever months you want to come out of it. So, what usually happens, again I am speaking the language of a student. मतलब जब से कोई सवाल आया है तो मैं आपकी भाषा इसीलिए बोल रहा हूँ because that's what most of you tend to do without realizing consciously कि भाई it's not helping your cause. क्योंकि मैं भी उस दौर से गुजरा हूँ and probably reality check बहुत जल्दी मिल गया तो things have fallen in place and in the right direction. First and foremost, what usually students or the freshers tend to do is सब लोग कॉलेज से प्लेस होते हैं. अब सब लोग एक जैसे कंपनी में प्लेस नहीं होते. कोई एक्स कंपनी में प्लेस होता है, कोई वाई कंपनी में प्लेस होता है, कोई जेड कंपनी में प्लेस होता है. ये एक्स वाला वाई और जेड से कंपेयर करके अरे यार मेरे साथ ये नहीं हो रहा. दैट्स प्रॉब्लम नंबर 1. राइट? मोस्ट ऑफ यू will speak within your circles, but then we exactly know when we have discussions with students who are living within 3 to 6 months. This is first and foremost. I didn't deserve this, I deserved better. And that purely comes from the fact that you are comparing yourself with some XYZ, working in some XYZ company. And what you guys fail to probably understand or compare is the structure of the companies itself. Right? Company of structure, company X might have a alpha structure when compared to a company Y which has a beta and gamma, which are not comparable. मतलब आप सेब को आपके साथ कंपेयर नहीं कर सकते, आपको संतरे के साथ कंपेयर नहीं कर सकते. But when you get into doing it, आपका दिमाग खराब होता है, बोलते हैं भाई इससे बेहतर कुछ मिलेगा, and then you try coming out. That's problem number 1. And if you can be conscious of trying to understand what is that you are comparing, and if the parameters are same, then that's your choice. Problem number 2. अरे मैं नहीं सोचा था इतना सारा काम होगा. At the end of the day, boss, if you are chosen for a work, you are supposed to do anything and everything. 10 काम है, भाई 5 में मजा आ रहा है, बाकी 5 यार कैसे देखे कि भाई ये ना हो, और वो काम अगर जबरदस्ती करना पड़ रहा है, अरे यार मजा नहीं आ रहा है. तो this is problem number 2. ये पैकेज डील है तो आपको पिक एंड चूज का चॉइस नहीं है. ओके, सो यू हैव टू डू ईच एंड एवरी टास्क असाइन्ड टू यू. कैंट से दैट ओके आई एम ओके विद दिस टास्क बट आई हैव प्रॉब्लम्स डूइंग अनदर टास्क. एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल टेंड टू गेट इनटू दिस मोड trying to find ways, and it's typical human psychology. वो आपकी गलती नहीं है, but then आपको consciously उसको overcome करना पड़ेगा, otherwise you'll get into a trap, right? That's point number 2. And point number 3 is you are not interested at the first place. अब किसी के कहने पे या कहीं कुछ हो नहीं रहा है, भाई चलो यार चल लेते हैं, वो that is the biggest factor which disturbs this whole dynamic. And I feel if you are consciously evaluating your own actions, given that this is generally what you will find across all the industries and all the companies, सब जगह वही होगा, एक छोड़ के दूसरे में जाने से, तीसरे को जाने से, चौथे को जाने से कुछ बदलने वाला है नहीं, at least for the first 2 to 3 years, as sir rightly mentioned. तो उतना पेशेंस आपको रखना पड़ेगा. ये YouTube शॉर्ट्स में भी शॉर्टकट करने का अगर सिलसिला चलेगा तो कुछ समझ नहीं आएगा. That's what I would say. आपकी भाषा में आपका प्रॉब्लम जो आपको खुद सॉर्ट आउट करना है.
आई थिंक जो नेचर का भी रूल है कि हर चीज मेच्योरिटी आके, फॉर एग्जाम्पल बच्चे को बर्थ जब देना होता है, 9 महीने बच्चा पेट में रहता है, तब वो ग्रोथ होती है उसकी, राइट? सो अगर हम नेचर के अगेंस्ट में जा रहे हैं, हम 3 महीने तो सिर्फ सीख ही दें. 6 महीने का 3 महीने का प्रोबेशन पीरियड इसलिए होता है ताकि हम सीखें. अभी जब हमने सीख लिया तो अप्लाई कहाँ करेंगे? किसी और कंपनी में. सीखा तो आपने इस कंपनी के बारे में, अप्लाई किसी और कंपनी में कैसे कर देंगे? फिर दोबारा से सीखना पड़ेगा. तो आप बर्डन अपने ऊपर ही डाल रहे हो अगर जल्दी जल्दी चेंज कर रहे हो तो. एंड नॉर्मली स्टूडेंट इसलिए चेंज करते हैं ताकि पैसा बढ़ जाए, राइट? लेकिन कहीं भी अगर टिक के काम कर लिया तो पैसा तो ऑटोमेटिकली आ जाएगा. एक्सपर्टीज तो आप तब भी बन जाओगे, rather than running behind the money. It's very important to understand that every action has a consequence, good or bad. So अगर अभी इनिशियली समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, 9-1 साल में चेंज हो रहा है, बट 3-4 साल के बाद कंपनीज आपको रिक्रूट करना बंद कर देंगी, बिकॉज सस्टेनेबिलिटी बिकम्स अ क्वेश्चन मार्क ऑन यू. देन एक्सप्लेनेशन करना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगा कि क्यों चेंज किया. Sometimes recruiter understand if it's a genuine concern, it's a genuine reason for changing. But if you are frequently changing, then recruiter also understand. It's a big question mark कि अच्छा ये हमारी कंपनी में कितने टाइम तक होगी? Because company is also investing on you. You know, for 90 days, for 6 months, company is investing on you. So you are going to break that trust that corporates are putting on you. So we need to take care of that.
So I quickly give you another aspect. Definitely all of them have mentioned that what you are supposed to do, but I also feel that company has a big role to play here, because the cost of early attrition is too high. You know, as per the McKinsey report, the cost of early attrition is 30 to 40% of the first year annual earning. So it's a big cost for us as well. A company generally, when they get into campus hire, there is no good I would say orientation program. The kind of inductions the company takes it for the lateral hires, they generally try to do it the same way for the campus hire as well. So I firmly believe that the induction program for the fresher should be so designed that even if the hiring happens in bulk, after 6 months of induction or orientation program where the student get a chance to really take them through on various aspect of the function. Let's say if we are in sales, then there are some people in corporate sales, enterprise sales, distribution sales, channel, and then once they have an exposure based on the assessment over a period of time, if you put the right people at the right job, the chances for the early attrition is going to be less. If the organizations are doing this, I am sure the early attrition would be less, because I firmly believe when anybody, whether it is fresher or a lateral hire like us, when we join an organization, we join with an intent to leave the organization in 3 months. We never join an organization like that. We always join an organization thinking about, okay, I am going to grow, I spent that many years in the organization, I would have my own team, and that's how you think over it when you join an organization. Over a period of time, when I feel that, oh, I was thinking this way, but it is not going that way. So that's how that psychological detachment starts to happen, and then eventually we end up having an early attrition. So it's a both ways. Organization needs to play a very big role in terms of, especially for at the time of campus hire, new hires, because you guys are fresh. If we can really set you for success, giving you the right set of roles where you can really rise and shine, contribute, add value from day one, it's good. Otherwise, eventually we are hiring early attrition. Only from the student perspective, I would say, sometimes where there are a lot of pressures, where the companies hire in bulk, and even if you don't want to, let's say, get into sales, but you sit in a campus hiring placement and you pick up a sales job, eventually you've been hired for being early attrition. So please make a right choice where you want to make your career. Don't get into a rat race, because at the end of the day, if you are in the rat race, eventually the person will win, it's only a rat. So never get into that rat race. Try and see which is your domain, where you want to excel, what kind of job really excites you and you really want to add value and contribute the most. Even if you take some time to really pick up your first job, but the good part about that, you're going to be there for a long time and start contributing. So, and then there are many ways that you can really do ref check. I'm sure each one of you should do a ref check when you really sit for campuses. There is Glassdoor, Ambition Box, and there are many platforms that you can read about the organization, and there are great places to work report, see various domains that you want to explore, see what kind of people are to say about that. You get everything. Prepare yourself, and then once you pick and choose that yes, this is the right set of organization, list of organization, if it comes for campus, I am going to really go all out and really get through, then you will stick. So please do your homework well, okay, never get into the rat race, because only the rat will win towards the end. And organization should also play a big role, making sure that we have a robust induction and orientation program which is different from the lateral hire for the new joiners, for the fresher, so that we can really nurture them for success rather than just inducting a person in the organization. That's my viewpoint.
Important thing is majority of the companies have a regulated body kind of thing. Like when we started working, all the companies which we work for registered under NASCOM. Most of the people are not aware of it. When you start working with a company, if your consistency, if your experience is not consistent or if there are any remarks, and if that goes on the NASCOM portal from the company, trust me, whichever the list of companies are listed under the NASCOM, it's not that easy to get hired. Please be very careful. Before you join a company, like he rightly said, research about the organization. What are their work capabilities? Who are they associated with? What type of clients they work? And most importantly, 100 out of 100 in this room are on social media today. Now what do you put on LinkedIn? If you shift for every 6 months or 1 year, how would your LinkedIn profile look like? Doesn't look good. Nobody will come forward to hire you, on 99% of the hiring today are happening on LinkedIn. So never showcase your profile on social media or to any such regulatory body that boss, I'm a 1 year jumping. So we will not be anywhere in the picture, my dear friends. Be careful with that. Thank you.
Now let's come to a very compelling question. I feel, and I have seen students facing this problem, especially during the campus placement season. It's sometimes very difficult for students to handle rejections when they sit for probably a selection drive of a company for which they have been planning for the last 1.5 years. I mean, there are some students, obviously, as you have rightly said, they might have not been that much prepared to be selected in a particular company, but there are some students who have given probably a good amount of time and effort, and they genuinely feel that they had a very good chance of being selected in that organization, but maybe somebody else performed better than them, and the recruiters have actually selected that particular individual. So it happens that those students come back to us saying, hey, I don't know, they are really demotivated, they are stressed, and to some extent they become negative also, which further impacts their employability in the campus. So what would you suggest to the students with regards to handling rejections?
I have a quick question in this scenario, sir. How many of you are open for a feedback model? How many ever asked you, went to a teacher and said, sir, how is my performance in my class? How many of us asked? Be honest, please. With this we can decide. Very less hands. Why? And this question we don't even ask an HR, when the HR says, any questions at the end, whether it is rejected or selected, I get very silly questions. What time I should come to office? Do I have a cab facility? That and all will be explained later, boss. First you understand what is your feedback. If you are rejected, we have a very, very, very strong reason, and you don't have to bother why other person is selected. You work on your feedback. I took 59 interviews to clear my first job way back in 2003 for a salary of 2,000 rupees as a Java programmer. What would I have done for 59 times? Met the people, took feedback, worked on it. Same thing you need to do. Once your HR says you are rejected, don't take a dull face as if you are lost in the world, lost in the space. No. Take a white paper, take a notepad, carry a white paper or a notepad to the interview. Sir, what are the points in which I did good? What are the points where I failed? What should I work on? Talk to your placement team. Take guidance from your career guidance cell. Ensure you are ready for the next game. Ensure you are ready for the next game. Your feedback model will only help. Rejection is possible at any point of time in any career. Even if you are going for a vice president interview, there is no assurance that you may get selected. Nobody can write it at you, this is my first interview, I'm the only candidate who gets selected. No. I can even be rejected for a VP round. It's not that. Please be open for a feedback, ask questions. What are my failures? If you never ask in the class itself, where is the point that you will ask in an interview or in a company? Start speaking up in the classroom. Meet your mentors, meet your faculty, meet your career guidance cell. Sir, this is where I stand today. What are my scores? Am I fit for the interview? Will I be able to take maximum mock interviews? See to that you are on the standard of the company, whichever is coming. Research about the company, sir. This is what they are. Their clients are in Germany, their clients are in Netherlands, their clients are in US. So what is my standard in line with the company? What should I speak? What I should not? What should I perform? Right? So please be open for this. Thank you.
Sir, let us take a few more questions from the audience. Any questions? Yes. So we can answer slide. So somebody please pass on the mic.
Very good afternoon, sir. First of all, I welcome all the panel members and our Professor Mr. Amitabh Pandey, sir. Thanks for ये आपने मैनेज किया हम लोग इन्हीं कॉन्क्लेव बहुत बढ़िया है सर मेरा एक पर्सनल क्वेश्चन गिरीश सर से है सर जैसे आप बीइंग एन एचआर एट एक्साइड okay where technical expertise matters the most so how much weight you put to the soft skills of a young employee who's a fresher like how much weight I want to know you give to soft skills as well as compared to technical skills how much weightage
हम technical skills देखते नहीं 100% soft skills
okay thank you sir
okay one of the shortest answer is the very
yes go ahead okay two questions okay who you can also ask actually yeah
But उनके क्वेश्चन का एक लाइन का मैं बाद में आंसर दूंगा after this. I just tell you how powerful is the soft skills and I tell you how relevant it's going to be forever. So I'll just answer in one line. I'll answer it. Just extension of it.
Good morning, panelists. This is Vartika from MA 3rd semester. So recently we have done our internship. So my question is for Shaleen sir. Sir, when recruiters hiring the candidate for freshers, how important are their internship at their evaluation?
Good question. Please have a seat.
Thank you so much, sir.
Look, for me, I again firmly believe that internships are not a short assignment. Basically, it's a platform where we discover leaders. So, and this is the right forum in future. If companies are doing it, it's very good. If not, then it is the best way to pick up the right set of people. And I tell you why. You know, in India, as per the skill report 2024, only 51% of the MBA students are employable. You can go through the net and you will find out. And out of which 30 to 40% of the people get replacement during their internship. So that's how powerful these internships are. And this is the platform where if I am having the right intern, then I know if I pick this person, my hiring costs get reduced. From the day one when I roll out an offer, the person will be productive because already the person has spent good 90 days we are talking about. So it's a win-win. The early attrition part will go down because the student might have seen it. This is the organization where I would like to really continue. The leaders have seen it. Yes, I would like a young person in the company and this is what the criteria is and the person is fulfilling all the criteria. So internship plays a very big role. And most of the time I have seen the success rate is very high when you give a pre-placement offer to a student who have done internship there, and the chances for success is much higher. So the more you do internships, the better it is for. The experience that you will get in internship is the life experience. And what we need today, we need talented people who are industry ready. And how do we see industry ready people? Through internship. If I am coming here interacting with you for half an hour, 45, I will not judge whether you are a great guy for me or not. But if I see you every day for good 90 days, at least I will say I will not make a hiring mistake. Because I have seen you working and whichever way you are contributing through your project, at least I see that I can give more additional tasks to you. And then plus cost is definitely all of us work on a platform where this ROI, cost efficiency is all there on our head at all time. So if I really get a young guy with less cost, with the chances to have a greater success, I would be a fool if I not hire that person. So internship plays a big role over there. So I hope I am able to answer your question. Okay. And answering to the I don't know, the gentleman maybe over there, soft skills are important because look again, as per your LinkedIn report, your McKinsey reports, 22% of the job roles that we are doing it right now, it was not existed in the last 2 decades. And similarly, in 2030, the kind of skills that is required to perform a role, it is going to be different for what all of us are doing it now. And you may do it in the next 1 or 2 years. The only thing which will continue to be relevant is your meta skills, your soft skills. Because things like creativity, learning agility, problem solving, design thinking, if you continue to make such skills stronger, job comes and goes. You may shift over various job roles in your life. But if you have a strong soft skills and meta skills, which you can really keep maybe consolidating, you will always be relevant and future fit. So very rightly, Girish has mentioned that we don't see technical skills that much. We really see how strongly you are in meta skills, and it is only going to get stronger and relevant in future as well, at least since the report that we have seen till 2030, which means 6 years down the line, I can say, by the time you are anyways a leader then. So let's please do work on your meta skills for sure.
We can take one more question here.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Ram, myself too. So my question goes like this, that being authentic and also having a good storytelling communication, what else make the MBA graduate memorable after the interview for a long time? Like what makes HR think about that candidate?
ऑफर देते उसके बाद क्या है, परमानेंट हो जाओगे?
Like as for myself, I have a good resume, I have been a good storyteller about myself, and also I am being authentic. Other than that, what all skills like HR prefers or sees in the candidate and make them like think like it is a good person
And want to hire you.
Yes, I want to hire.
So first thing is that, have you gone through the website of the company and know about the company? You know, that's very, very important. A few of the cases that we have rejected because they don't know about the company. Right? What's your expectations towards the company? How many questions are you asking the recruiter? That is also very important. Right? Because some of the people say, look, we don't have enough question to ask. Or very silly question, how many leaves that this organization is offering? Right? What is the office timings? You know, what is the travel policy? You know, we are just stuck with that. But are your values aligned with the organization? What is company's value? What is the future perspective of the company? Because you will be the future leader of the organization, and if you are not aligned with it, and if you are not asking that question to the recruiter, then where are you entering? You are not, there is no clarity that you have. So we look for these pointers also when we recruit a person.
Thank you, ma'am.
I think you won't mind one more question, please. So my question is from Karthik, sir. Very good afternoon to everyone. My name is Aliba from NCA. So, sir, I would like to ask, what do you think, what do you evaluate for a person who just has technical skills in their resume rather than just having a passion for technology, something like that?
First, you tell me, are you passionate about technology or what are you exactly?
Of course I am.
So, how do you define passion for technology?
Taking a first chance to build, collaborating to open source.
How many have you tried till now?
I'm a part of community, right?
Which of Google?
No, GSOC, Girls with Summer of Code.
So, where do you stand as on today?
As a contributor.
Okay. So as an organization, if I have to take somebody onto a technical role, okay, we would like to first see somebody who has the real-time, hands-on experience during the college days, where at least they came up to an idea stage about thinking a problem and what sort of solution to be thought and how can they build about it and what technology sort of be used and what sort of support they see. See, many people speak about, even today, very fashionably people speak about Python, Tableau, Power BI. But still, even in cyber security, being from that domain, I still recommend people learn the basics from Java and then .NET. That is still not vanished. Your cyber security works in Java first. Well, if you want to get into hardware, your first one is Red Hat, Linux and Unix. You may speak about 100 different operating systems or languages today. Now the point here is, what is it your exactly vision to work in a technology perspective? And how far are you aligned as long as when you are a student itself? So you might have done 10 projects. What are the outcomes? And number two, how are they going to help your company in future? Because there are many instances where we don't bother to ask questions, but we listen to the projects and we see how better can we build these kind of projects in an organization and taking that candidate as a leader for that project. So your ability to think about the technology and your passion, number one, and number two, how far is your learning level in it? Number three, if you are given an opportunity, what are the things that you will do so that the organization can see or cannot come up with a new solution for the society today? And if you are really able to give an answer for it, yes, we are okay for you, people like you.
Thank you, sir.
Building on the questions that has been asked and what we have discussed so far, we were discussing about the LinkedIn. So, do recruiters look at the LinkedIn profile? And nowadays, the students are also very active on other social media platforms like Instagram, YouTube, and like she said, on different forums. And do you also look at those profiles, social media profiles? And also, how a student should leverage this kind of exposure, or should they put it on their CVs, and if yes, then how?
So
Absolutely, because the first reference what we look at, even before coming yesterday and like even day before yesterday, we were doing hiring for some mid-level and senior positions. The first thing we look at is the LinkedIn of the candidate. And please ensure there are certain basics to be taken care when your profile is designed on social media. It is not your personal profile anymore. When you are applying for a job, don't share such a profile either it is on LinkedIn or on Facebook, whichever you have to, but make sure it is professional enough. Your content, what you write, your content, what you publish. Nowadays there are many courses that tell you how to design your LinkedIn profile. Is your photograph professional enough or not? Is your title describing you? What are you exactly? Don't put paragraphs and paragraphs on title. Top 3 words which should describe you. What is this candidate? And most importantly, what you furnish inside the profile. Your projects, yes. You did something on GitHub, yes you can do. You did some better project, you had some better internship, publish everything, but there is a structure and protocol because that is the first thing and we will take as a reference and we will share it to that company and to verify yes whether this candidate is really there or not and what is the performance of the candidate. Earlier, even today we do the background verification once the candidate joins. These days what I am doing, especially because I hire for Middle East, Singapore, Malaysia, what I am doing is once I speak with the candidate, before I go with the next round of the candidate, I am doing an internal verification through LinkedIn and my network and see that what is the performance of the candidate, what is he or she, whether it is experienced or a fresher, and get a right review on the candidate and then only I will decide whether I should go with the next round of interview or not. So most importantly, ensure that you have a very strong networking background. When I say networking, not technical networking. You become a member in a professional body like NHRD, ISTD, IMA, All India Management Association, because since 10 years I am a member of IMA and Hyderabad Management Association. Why I am saying this is, people like us are sitting in hundreds in these bodies. We are always ready to help you. We will help you to design your social profile. We will help you to design your resumes. We will help you to upskill in whatever areas is required. But predominantly, what you publish is what we see and that decides the fate of the candidate. Do not try to put something which is unprofessional or which is really not required. We don't have the time to read hundreds and thousands of lines. Your 3 lines should give a story for us. So please design the profile in such a way, and I think that should really be a good thing. Your photographs, your content, your title, and your banner image. Banner image are more important on LinkedIn. I don't really see, other than LinkedIn, we don't have, please don't sense. We had a profile recent result where the candidate has put, where we asked for URL, social URL. We got a Snapchat link. Snapchat. I'm not that user friendly on Snapchat. Lucky that TikTok was not there. So let's think what we should and what we should not. Thank you. What do you say?
No, I would say that we definitely check on LinkedIn profile, but for the lateral hires, not for the freshers. But still, especially it is relevant for fresher who got a previous experience. Then and somebody would like to really, at the time of interview, talk about that I carry a X number of years of experience and I work there. And maybe sometimes happens that when we meet freshers but carrying some background experience and we feel, oh, we can still hire this person as a lateral hire rather than a fresher. Then we might really ask the recruitment team to check on the LinkedIn status. But whatever Karthik has said is absolutely right. There shouldn't be anything wrong on your social profile, because in future when you become your first job, from there, then whatever you are putting on the social media, you need to be very, very careful, because at least our recruitment team, when we hire lateral hires, we really diagnose LinkedIn profile like anything. And in fact, at a certain level, I myself also looked into the profiles of senior people when we hire them, that where the person works, what are the linkages, how the person has been contributing. So look, at the end of the day, it's all about curiosity. If I am hiring somebody not known to me, and if I am giving somebody a particular position, I would like to capture maximum information possible, bro. Most of you, maybe when you heard about that we are coming on an HR Conclave, I am sure some of you would have gone through our LinkedIn profile, no? You said that where I am going, okay, before that, where was he? Okay, I have gone to many conferences, you must have seen it. So everybody does that. It's all about curiosity, and that curiosity is with everybody. In fact, at my level also it's there, but at a certain level when we hire. So be very careful what you put it on your social profile, because after a period of time, it is like to be changeable by anybody or everybody whom the person would like to work with. So the sooner the better. That's my suggestion, and whatever Karthik says is absolutely right. Put everything which is authentic, relevant, makes you a good professional asset to the organization. It will only will be a source of help for you to get better opportunities in the professional world.
That was about the LinkedIn profile. Now about the resume. What are the certain things that a student should avoid putting on the resume, or what should a good resume look like?
Especially for a fresher.
Especially for a
fresher.
Please stop giving a self-declaration where I have got very great leadership skills. I'm a very good speaker. I'm a hard-working person. We will decide it. Don't worry. We have some time to do that. Whenever I open soft skills, hard skills, uske baad, I'm very good at speaking. I have great leadership ability. Believe me, if you really want to win an interview, take one stress round of interview from an expert, which will happen for at least 1 hour. 99% chances are there that whether it's a boy or a girl, they'll cry. I've done these interviews. One stress round of interview will totally extract or squeeze out whatever the wrong thing you have in the mind about an interview, and literally you will see where am I standing in terms of writing a resume. Resume is not ChatGPT made, Canva made, Google made. It is our hand home. I'm telling you, earlier days in employment exchange, when we used to apply for a job, we used to write an A3 size paper and write a letter with a formal protocol to, from, subject. And today we are getting emails also very beautifully. The subject itself is not understood. Profile for so-and-so, who sent, what, which role, why is it sent? And when we open a resume, the objective, that's the first case where the candidates are skipped off. What is your objective? How is it aligned with the company? Don't tell me I would like to. This is what happens when even an interview. Where would you like to see yourself after 5 years? In your position. What is my position now? I don't know. The same is reprinted in objective. And after that, where should you put your graduation details? Where should you furnish your project details? What comes at the end? Where are your personal details going? And what type of things? Hobbies? Please, listening to music? No. It's not something that company is interested in. Put something where it is useful. So, for example, you are a bike rider, a photographer, or something unique where tomorrow if any event happens in the organization, you can pull in such people and do an activity. I'm good at listening to music. I'm a good chef. I'm not hiring chefs here. Maybe on a, what do you call that, we usually have some specific days where potluck. We do potlucks and we get some food from everyone. Then we'll ask you for a chef activity. You cook and get it, but not specifically. Put something, what is there for the organization from your resume, what you have from an organization. What is that an organization can fetch from that piece of paper? Your strengths. Again, no hardworking, I'm a self-motivated person. That won't work. Your word must give an impression, yes, this boy or girl is in place for my organization. I think we have more points to serve now.
No, many colleges I have seen, sorry, no offense to anyone, but I have seen colleges saying to the student, we are sharing a certain format to you, please upload your details in that format, and then those formats will go on to the, so, okay, I think I have hit the right string. Okay. So will never call me again, huh? Okay, but I'll tell you, I don't know, again, old school of thoughts, I would say all of us should change, we should change with times. And it is important. The other day, I was going through a resume of a candidate, and trust me, I have seen her resume 10 times. I said that how can somebody prepare a resume like this? And if I am not carrying my laptop here, otherwise I'll show you her CV. I said, when I saw her resume, I told my recruitment team, 90% she is going to be hired. That's how the potential of a good resume. And that was for some social media profile, but amazing. That work was amazing. So maybe the template world is gone now, okay? Because if you give them a template, obviously the kind of input, they will not be able to use their creativity. If it is a challenge, I can understand that, but at least you should have a backup resume with you. Understand, if I go to a organization for an interview, and if you are meeting an HR head and say that, sir, I know you have my resume, but I would love to share my updated resume which I have made it myself. That is from the college. And then will I ever say no to you? I will never say no. And then interestingly, let's say if I go through that resume and found out that you are absolutely a different person, and as you rightly said, authentic one, and then that conversation will happen, will go to another level. Maybe I'll think of you, and then the kind of impression that you said, that what about maybe internship, authenticity, all that, maybe I remember you after that. So that could be my USP. So as a student, do not limit yourself. I am not saying that you want to go against the college, but what extra you can do it from your side, nobody can stop you. Okay, so you can additionally score yourself. Up to that level, college can help you out, and they have been doing it with good intentions. But creativity, maybe all that you can show it, and I'm telling you, all that will work. So please, to answer to your question with one word, is that what all you can show it beyond all that you mentioned is the USP. What USP you will bring onto the table when you are having that career conversation with the interviewer. I think that will make a lot of difference in your life. So resume is definitely one aspect of it where you can catch the eye of an interviewer. Thanks.
I just want to take it one step forward. I mean, all of you are smart. You get the best of content, you will prepare the best of series. But please be prepared for any questions which you would have shared in the CV. Most of the times, I mean, I'm okay somebody writing, playing cricket, playing football. I mean, this usually the hobby which most of them write. But when a question is asked about any rules of cricket or rules of football, they are out of the window. तब पता ही नहीं है, सिर्फ लिखने के लिए लिख दिया. अब नहीं भी लिखो तो भी दिक्कत. But the whole point is, making the resume in the most presentable way is just, I would say, 10 to 20% of the task. Remaining of the 80% is how much of you, is getting represented when you are sitting in front of the interview panel. Because more often than not, you get caught with a lot of stuff you unnecessarily write, because there will be sync issues, there will be distortions, and there will be a lot of exaggerations. And the moment you are caught, then automatically your confidence is gone. So just be careful about making things which are very well displayed, but then if you are not prepared for it, then it will become a counterproductive strategy. Yeah.
Yeah, the question that I had, obviously you must be going to different colleges for recruiting students. Once a fresher has been onboarded into the organization, how do recruiters evaluate a leadership potential within a group of freshers? That's point number one. Point number two, when are freshers actually considered for promotion? And if you can also give me a timeline, that would be also great.
I think so. The ownership is the first thing. Initially when we train people, then they have to perform. Then they have to give back to the organization, and how they are owning it, what they have learned, and adding value to the organization. What is new perspective that they are bringing up on the table for the leadership team that is there. Believing in themselves, believing what they are standing for. rather than just going haywire to what others are saying, right? Because leaders are the one who believe in themselves and just get the work done. So if these three things are present in somebody, then we can consider them to be groomed as a leader. One more perspective is that everyone is accountable in the organization. Are you ready for that accountability? Because if you're not being accountable, or if you're not ready to be accountable, then sorry, you're not ready to become a leader. Because you have a big responsibility as a leader. In our organization, if I talk about, we confirm a person as an assistant manager after a year when they complete their 1 year of tenure in the organization, where we have 4 months of training in all the departments, and after an year they, at the time of appraisal, they are confirmed as an assistant manager, which is 3 levels above of what we have in our organization. And normal criteria for promotion in our organization is 2 years. So if the person has become assistant manager, after 2 years, then if the performance is very good, they can be considered for promotion again.
So she rightly mentioned ownership is definitely which all of us must be closely monitoring, because what we can expect from a fresher, that the kind of work that we are getting, how much the work that the person is owning. Performance definitely, because as he mentioned about the promotion happens in 1.5 to 2 years based on the performance. Obviously everything is foremost in the performance, and one aspect in the fresher that we definitely see is that how much value add the person is doing based on challenging the status quo and putting the right question in place with the right intention, and that is very, very important, because in the beginning I mentioned that we have a set patterns of doing things over a period of time. We also want to see new faces, new team member comes, question the current set of processes, identify gap, share relevant piece of ideas, suggestions, and how we can become a lean and effective organization. In the process, any suggestion, ideas given by the youngsters, as an organization we should be ready with it, but if organizations are ready, that should be welcome, and which is gives an edge to an individual to get faster promotion and growth, because you will see that the leadership quality, what a leader does to the team. Obviously the leader shows maybe becoming a role model, shows the vision of the organization and take the team through that. So these are the pointers, because a leader will continue to see what is there in future, which will come and make the organization better and grow faster. So these are small pointers which we see in the young generation, that how much inquisitive the person is and how much value addition the person wants to do based on the ideas, correct ideas to the organization in the process. So ownership, definitely ownership comes the first, for sure. Performance, and then ask question. If you think that you have all the right questions, but it is there in your mind, but you are not asking, you will never be judged. And then you can never question that, oh, I was also thinking the same way. You must be thinking, but you never dare to ask. So please ask questions, good, bad or ugly, it does not matter. It all depends on the leader, which is why a separate level of training that we keep giving it to the leader to at least embrace ideas, encourage ideas from all set of people. But that is the HR job that we continue to do. Your job is to keep asking right questions in the right spirit and then with an intention, and the right leaders will identify you for the future growth.
I would just want to give a perspective over here, since you made use of the word leadership. So, see, leadership is, I mean, for a fresher and then trying to look at it right from the beginning from that lens would be a bit of a stretch.
I wanted to know about leadership potential.
Right. So the perspective what I was about to give was, in any organization, and you would have also learned in your management, studies, it has a three-layered approach. The operations, the tactical, and the strategic. Okay, until and unless somebody gets a hang of operations, just paraphrasing what ma'am and sir told about the performance and the ownership and the other things, the next two levels are not going to be achieved. So it's like unless and until you don't do your plus 2, you are not going to get a graduation, and then if you don't do a graduation, then you are not going to get a PG. So don't get too engrossed in trying to think too early on a lot of things which won't happen in the first 2 years for sure. But probably after the first 2 years, looking into your own thought process and your own aspirations, then you can start taking it from there. So, take one step at a time, because a journey of 1,000 miles, starts with a single step. And that single step is to first get prepared for your campus and get a job, and then take it from there. That's what I think, would be a perspective which students, can explore and then align themselves accordingly.
Rightly said, sir. I think it is very important for students to be patient, right? And do a very careful planning of your career progression in any organization, so that you might have a stable, prosperous, and a long career in an organization that you start initially. So that, I think that is very important, because what so happens is that nowadays, as we have had a discussion, that you come across a CV where you see a student has actually changed 3 jobs in 1 year. Believe me, boys and girls, leaves a very, very bad impression. A person who is going to see your CV where it's listed that you have changed at least 3 jobs in the last 1.5 years, you will never be taken seriously. So be very, very conscious about it.
Sir, let's take a few more questions from the students.
Yes.
So, please pass on the mic. We have so many students ready to ask the question.
Good morning, members. This is from Exide Industries Ltd. मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि जैसे कोई स्टूडेंट है, उसका बैकग्राउंड कुछ मे बी वो PCA किया हो और वो MBA कर रहा हो, या उसने BSc किया हो और उसने MCA एडमिशन ले लिया हो, तो ये सब चीज़ें सिंगल मैटर करती है क्या?
ये क्यूरियोसिटी क्रिएट करती है. Why you shifted? Why you choose? And it is very, very important that there might be some reason why you choose that. Might be you have done BCA and now you think no, MBA is better, or perspective is better in MBA, future is better in MBA. So in the recruiter's mind, it creates a curiosity to understand why there is a shift.
एक और क्वेश्चन, जो मेरा प्रीवियस में हम लोगों का मार्क्स होता है वो मैटर करता है क्या?
Academic scores. Academic scores.
हाँ, करता है.
Cut off के लिए करता है. I'll be very honest with you, and take it with a pinch of salt. When we send across our requirement to the colleges, we send across certain cut-off marks. Okay, and though that cut-off is not very, very high, but we maintain certain cut-offs there. So, and why is it so? Because I am not saying that somebody who's got an X percentage should not get an opportunity to sit in campus, but obviously we like to see that the person has secured a certain percentage level in order to really set in the process. So, as an organization, what we firmly believe is that the cutoff should be, I think, decent. Not very high, not very low also, but at a margin level where we expect student to perform. Okay, I'll give you a very bad example. Sorry if you feel it otherwise. If I score only 40% mark, I can never say that I study very hard and I was really studying for 18 hours, but I got 40% mark. Very hard to digest. I may not have been until there is something big happen at my personal level where otherwise securing at least 40-50% mark is not a big deal there. So if your intentions are good enough, you are studying, you are honest to your studies, I am sure you will try and see. There could be exceptions here and there, but in the majority of the cases, that won't be the case. So matters. So towards the end of it matters. Okay.
मेरा पर्सपेक्टिव ये है कि भाई वो मार्क्स तो ऑलरेडी चढ़ चुका है सर्टिफिकेट में, बदल तो नहीं सकते, ज्यादा चिंता मत करो, आगे बढ़ो.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shaleen. I am from MBA. Before heading towards my question, I would like to extend my heartfelt welcome to all of you, all the panel members. Thank you so much for coming to our institution. My question is that we being from smaller cities and institutions like our college, we often feel that they lack in terms of exposure and opportunities provided to us. I would like to understand what are the skill gaps that you feel while hiring students from institutes like our institution, and how can we overcome the challenges that we are going to face in the upcoming placement opportunities?
Thank you for that question. Skill gaps are everywhere. Please be seated. Skill gaps are not only limited to the small city. Even a graduated fellow from a tier 1 city like Hyderabad is passed with good marks, but still there are gaps. So don't bother about the city or the town where you are from. What all you can do is, from the day one you start in the college. Usually the habit is, whether it is in engineering or MBA, unless or until I come to the end of the game, 3rd semester or 4th semester, I don't start playing the game of soft skills, mock interviews, and not looking at the reviews of my performance or my learnings and all. From the day one, 80% of your academics, 20% of your interview of soft skills or whatever are required, which will help you to stand, strike and stiff during the interviews. That is much needed, and this should be a test practice from the day one of your college. You should take out time. You should know who is your mentor. Start working on it. Nobody is perfect, like I earlier said. From the day one you might be speaking something, but after 15 days you are something better, because the mentorship that happened in this 15 days made you better. And if this you could continue for the next 2 years, by the time you come to the final semester, you can be very confident that let any company come, I'm assured that I can be selected, because as far as I am concerned, I'm trained, I'm mentored, and these are my skill sets. Now if I get to know what the company is looking for, rest I'll prepare and stand in front of them. So it's not an overnight game where somebody can better or can improvise in their skills aspect. It's a day-to-day activity, day-to-day learning. Spend as much time as you can. This happens only when you can start speaking in the classroom. See, simple buddy. Don't bother about your neighbors. They are not going to help you during interviews. No matter who is on your east, west, north, south. If you have got a chance to speak up. No matter what is your communication level, it's English or Hindi or your local language, you dare to get up first. You dare to speak up. Ask your question in any of the languages and get your answer from the mentor or teacher. Unless or until you speak up in the classroom, where is the assurance that you can speak in front of the HR, and where is the assurance tomorrow even if you get selected, you can never speak in the organization also, and that's where your leadership ability is also gone. When you cannot speak for yourself and for your team, how can you grow? So practice it on a day-to-day basis. Allot some time. Ensure that you are only doing your own assessment of where do I stand in my communication, where do I stand in my learning, and where was I and where am I. This can be like a calendar, and that really helps everybody to go. And as a company, yes, I look out for someone. Maybe I don't want to score a 10 out of a 10, but even if they are able to speak what they are doing today, yes, I'm still happy with such people, because rest will take care inside the company. Right, thank you.
I just want to give a perspective, because you mentioned your college and lack of exposure. But before joining the college, आपने कुछ सोच के कॉलेज ज्वाइन किया, तो एक बार नदी में घुस गए तो ना बारिश की ना हवा की चिंता करनी चाहिए. right? So you should not worry about the rain or the cold wind once you are in the river. So what, as he rightly mentioned, you should be focusing is you have a aspiration, and in terms of reaching or moving towards that aspiration, if you need something from the college, then you should start asking. You should start demanding, and you should start exploiting, I would say. So with that, I think the confidence what you get by being an MBA student, be it SMS or any other college, so it's your individual personality what comes out and not from where you are coming. ठीक है, तो वो थोड़ा सा आप अपना दिमाग से हटा के सोचने की कोशिश करो. You will get a lot of favorable, alternatives from where you can actually kick off and do much better than anyone else. That's what I feel.
So you know the word survival of the fittest. You're dropped in an area where you need to come out. That's it. You don't have an option. If not today, tomorrow you need to work. If not today, you need to settle down on one day of life. So start swimming from today. Use your life jacket. Use your any support. Take your mentors. But if you stop practicing, you can never achieve our goals. So our life is like that.
Last but not the least, look, when you feel that small cities, there is no small cities. India is growing, you can read through, India is growing in tier 3, 4, 5 towns. So earlier there was a dearth of opportunity, but now there is no dearth of opportunity. It's all there in your mind. And there are certain factors which are controllable, there are certain factors which are uncontrollable, right? I have never chose my parents, right? I born to them. So, but things like if you have been enrolled in any college, going through, maybe sitting here, the world has become very small, targeting HR people around, sending them your profile, touching them for live project, touching them for internship, become a gig economy, part of that, okay, earning money, doing maybe projects outside, not in India, outside also, nobody can stop you. World has become small, but the opportunity has gone bigger. So, and I would use that word, sorry if you feel it otherwise, let's not play a victim card for ourselves. We are not victim anymore. Okay, we are a set of people who can shake the world. But before shaking the world, you have to shake yourself. I think the way you stood up and said that, okay, you can build that opportunity for yourself. India is growing really fast. Our 80 to 90% of the revenue that we are doing it is from tier 3, 4 and 5 market. And we are a more than 10,000 crore organization today. So, enough opportunity, but you need to be stronger. You need to tell yourself that I can control this part, okay? And things which are uncontrollable, you can never be control yourself. If you are sitting in an interview, you can give your best. Rest depends on the interviewer only. You can never get into the person's mind that, oh, why he is not taken? That's his choice or her choice. But whether you have done your bit, whether you shown all your potential, whether you had this USP in you, those are the things in your control. Please explore that. What Girish and Karthik said, that choice is yours. You have to make that choice. You cannot tell others that, oh, I got scum to that. It's no more. I think we are not ready because we are open to hire people in tier 3, tier 4, tier 5 cities. But some potential, some confidence, we should see it in yourself as well. Okay? Okay, thank you.
Let's take one more question.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Sir, I'm Shaleen Manik from MBA, and I have a question about interview process. Ma'am, the question is sometimes we study the question that whose answer is not known. We don't know our answer. So how to overcome that?
Best strategy if a student candidate does not know the answer to the question of the interview what is asked.
If you don't know the answer, just accept it that you don't know the answer. And be authentic about it.
Don't try to give any fake answers.
Yeah.
Be very genuine, and you can make it more professional. So I would really be happy to answer, but since that I'm not completely aware of, since that this is the first time I'm listening to this, I'd be really happy to even take guidance from you if you could help me for my further interviews. See if you're ready to help me. will help you how to answer those questions. Instead of giving some fake answer or something irrelevant, not totally out of the subject. Better know to answer, say professional no, not a gender. No, I don't know. It doesn't work. I would have really tried to answer it, but I'm sorry for it. Then we'll appreciate it.
एक सिचुएशन है, अब पहले सवाल पे जवाब पता नहीं, मुझे पता नहीं बोलोगे, दूसरे पे भी बोलोगे मुझे पता नहीं है, तीसरे पे भी बोलोगे मुझे पता नहीं, तो ऐसे टाइम पे ना इट हैज हैपेंड विद मी, तो सर मुझे इसके बारे में पता है तो आप पूछ लीजिए इसके बारे में तो मैं आपको बताऊंगा. इट्स लाइक यू नो जस्ट ट्राइंग टू डाइवर्ट द अटेंशन. वो कर सकते हो, वो इंटरव्यू को देख के.
Can you pass on the mic there? Saurabh Singh is asking for the mic. Yeah, you can ask, then you can pass. First you can ask.
Good afternoon, sir. Myself Devanshi from MBA 3rd Sem. My question is, how can students prepare for unexpected or stress question during interview?
Stress interview.
Are you prepared if we announce an immediate interview now? We are ready to hire candidates right now in this room. Are you prepared? No, you just have to say yes. How it will happen is this next level. If as long as you are not confident, it will not happen. Stress is not some kind of a disease or an allergy. Don't even think about that word. We have an answer for every nonsense question in this world. So just take some time. You can ask the HR, may I request 2 minutes of your time so that I can think and answer. You don't have to immediately rush and jump in and say blah 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 blah. No. You can say 2 minutes. Still if you don't get, I tried my best but I'm not able to answer, then we'll see. We may try to ask some more questions which you can answer. But don't try to stress that will impact your next level questions. Even when you know confident, you will never be able to answer. Because first itself you are failed. So be prepared. Any challenge, yes, let's start. We'll see what happens in middle. Take the show. Right?
So what is stress for you?
Ma'am, in room maybe students get nervous when interviewer asks questions if they don't know about the question.
So were you stressed to answer this question? Yeah. So there is no need to get stressed. We all are humans here. We are not going to bite you. A recruiter is not going to bite you. Right? As Karthik said, just take your time. Sometimes what happens, you don't understand the question. Ask, can you please repeat? Right? So the more you're going to stress yourself, you're reducing your performance in the interview. That's it.
Thank you.
बॉटम लाइन ये है, आप लोगों को स्ट्रेस देने के लिए इंटरव्यू करते हैं. वरना कैसे पता चलेगा? अब सब लोग समान हैं. If I have to take 4 or 5 or 10, how will we differentiate? सब तो अच्छे बोलने के लिए तो प्रिपेयर हुए हैं. अच्छे बोलने के लिए आप कॉलेज भी ज्वाइन करके इंटरव्यू में बैठे हो. And obviously you are going to speak the best about yourself. How are we going to differentiate? They are going to or you are going to get differentiated only by those small tricks. अब कोई स्ट्रेस लेता है, कोई स्ट्रेस लेता नहीं है. जो स्ट्रेस लेता है वो गया काम से, और जो स्ट्रेस लेता नहीं है वो आगे बढ़ता है. That's how simple it is.
Actually, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि why people take stress. So there is a term called fear of missing out, FOMO. I think during interviews there is a fear of losing out. Generally, when students sit in front of the HR or maybe panelists, they feel that, oh, if I give a wrong answer, maybe I'll get rejected. Assume when you enter into the room and say that, okay, what maximum would happen that I'll not get this job. If you take out that pressure of fear of losing out, trust me, you can give your best any which ways. So, and that's for sure. If you will show stress on your face, I'm telling you very honestly, until unless my job requirement says that even the person who looks stressed or by nature gets stressed faster, I still take that person, your chances for rejection is very high. Because if all of us are hiring for sales and I've seen somebody is really sweating and not able to answer question, I would interpret that maybe in a difficult situation when there is stress from the leader, manager, the person will maybe show the similar expression. So I will not very keen to hire that person. So the best way to really not show the stress, even if you are stressed, okay, take a pause, a minute or so. Understand that, oh, okay, it's a difficult question and I'll answer. Even if you take a minute or 30-second pause also, no interviewer would mind that. And you can always say that I was articulating my thought and this is my answer. Okay, we have all the time to give it to the interview. In which ways we generally secure around 30 minutes for a final round of interview. But if you continue to show the stress and it comes on your face, chances for you to get through is very less. I'll be very honest with you. Okay, so be confident, never have this fear of losing out, because the moment you will show that stress, you have already lost it. So stress will never give you wins. Okay, so be calm, maybe take a pause, take some time, maybe take a sip of water if you think so, because generally we offer water and all that happens. So you take a sip, it gives you calmness, and then you try and answer. Plus, I tell you very honestly, all the interviews that we take, there are no right answer or a wrong answer. It's a perspective. My perspective would be different from Karthik's perspective. Maybe the interviewer feels that Karthik's perspective is much better than Shaleen's perspective, he'll get through, I'll not. Maybe the other interview, I'll say at another college, my perspective will take taken well, his not. So it all depends on the interviewer, the need, the person, but your perspective, share it strongly, be confident, and obviously don't show stress. Stress is a killer. At least in that 30 minutes, you can't be stressed. You can step out and drink a 1 liter of water and say, oh, thank God, to bach gaya. But in that 30 minutes, show that confidence and all that. And over a period of time, when you gain experience, when you have that experience of the work, obviously the confidence will build. And so this way, you can please pass on that stress for that particular time period.
And lastly, don't make this stress as a contagious disease. This happens in the interviews. One fellow goes in and comes out. The rest of the fellows will be staring at it. What questions did they ask? And we copy the same questions and the answers are never changed. Your questions are different from others. And second thing is the way this fellow is got nervous and that is spreaded already. And those who are very well prepared, now mera kya hoga? Kaliya. Khatam, you are seeing Sholay Part 2. Don't make it. That's why we say prepare mock interviews on the campus. Do as many as you can. Try the best. No stress, zero.
ऐसा हुआ कि I met a student and the other gentleman passed on all the questions and I met that guy and said, sir, I am completely mobile. I said, I did not even ask that question. I was at a job in Delhi. Why you are saying that completely mobile? Okay, which means that you can work in Lucknow as well. So I said, no sir, if it is in Delhi, I will love to. I said, why did you say that you are completely mobile? Because the question, obviously the other person has mentioned that if he talks about mobility, you say yes. So use your brain, okay? Obviously, don't be into rat race. So I thought I'll give you that example that I saw it, that how it feels that when you copy paste without looking at the context.
Okay, few more questions are coming in my mind. Like these days, there is a trend of psychometric testing. So, what role does the psychometric test play? And is it an eliminatory thing or it is just a kind of input that you get from the psychometric test?
It's a diversion tactic. So the moment something of that sort is introduced, half of the students start thinking, what should I answer so that my scores are good? ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता है. You can beat a psychometric test because there is consistency, there is validity, there is authenticity. So you can't actually fool a psychometric test. And just for your info, any psychometric test is not 100% correct with the scores whatever comes out. It's at that point of time how you understand the questions, what you answer. And it's only an indication for us to probe those areas during the interview and not the end result or not an eliminator, if I have to put it that way. So don't get afraid about psychometric test. It's just another tool, and you just be what you are. I mean, if you are a dominant outgoing character, तो हो भाई, अब हो तो हो, उसको छिपाना थोड़ी है. You can be the best, because psychometric assessment tools always try and see on what side of the parameters you fall into. So you can be the best in everything. So you will lean towards X, you will lean towards Y, but you should not worry about the results and then give the questions. Then give the answers to the question. Just be yourself, answer the question, leave rest to the process. That will take care of itself.
It's being genuine to the list. It's not a lie detector. It's not a lie detector. We are not doing any investigation. But we just try to understand what is your genuinity level. There might be some questions where if you say we get one decision, if you say no, we get one decision. So, but still you need to give your decision. I mean, your answer is important. So that's where your thought process comes into place, right? But it's not the only parameter on which we evaluate. To a certain extent, yes, we consider it so.
Yeah, and psychometric test clearly shows that if you think it over, we can say, oh, what going to be the right answer for this, and when you click on that, the result shows that genuine responses, cautiously recommended, because if you do that regularly but before answering that, it will show us that result as well. And as Girish rightly mentioned, we take these psychometric tests just to understand that the kind of skill set that we require for a particular role, right? Where do you stand? Which side of the axis you stand? And then if there are very critical skills that we want in that role holder, but you score less, then during probing, that we'll ask that and maybe revalidate that. It does not mean that it's a clear eliminator. So, but try to be genuine, because the chances are, if you are genuine in your responses, we will get to know the real you, and I'm sure the kind of skill sets, competency that you carry inherently, that will come out in the responses. So don't try to fool that, because it is designed in a way, in whichever way you respond, it will give us the right indication at least for that particular role. So that's my answer.
So one small point to add before I close this, don't mind. These days there's an AI application which actually does the behavioral patterns of the candidates. If I'm answering a question, if I'm using the backspace for 5 times, 10 times instead of answering, my keystrokes are also a pattern that is understood. How much time the candidate is taking, how is the surety and unsureness of the candidate. So there are certain applications that have come in HR today where we do the behavioral pattern of the person, whether it's a keyboard or even on a touch screen on the phone, we still verify the time taken to answer one question, whether it's right or wrong is secondary. So what is the behavior of giving an answer for it, and how much time he's taking. So that also gives us, okay, what is the surety of the candidate, how much sure or unsure.
So before we conclude, I am tempted to ask 2 more questions. Earlier I wanted to ask 1, but I want to ask 2 now. 1, in a GD, what are the common mistakes that one should avoid to get rejected in the GD? Second is, sir was talking about AI. So in the world of AI and automation, what skills sets students are expected to have, and what should they put in their CV which can make them get selected?
So in the GD, one thing that they must avoid is not speaking up. Participation is the most important thing, because if you are not speaking up, then it shows that you don't know. So that doesn't help in GD specifically, because we are looking for people to show up, to speak up their mind, and GD help us to understand, okay, what is their perspective about it. And if they are not speaking up, then we understand, okay, they don't have any perspective. And if they don't have any perspective, then how they are going to contribute in the organization? So that becomes very, very important, that you speak up. And don't think it is right or wrong. It's just the perspective, it's just the viewpoint that you have.
And in GD, don't make noise, because the person who is evaluating you can really bifurcate between the noise and the perspective. So if you think that you can yell, maybe cut through somebody else's point of view, it means that you become a leader and you're really navigating everything through. It's not for us. It generally becomes a noise, and we may not really shortlist that candidate. As she rightly mentioned, bring a perspective which should look to be a genuine your perspective in place, and try and see that it works in a very meticulous way. Because sometimes when you get into a GD, it becomes a fish market. Everybody is raising their voice. We are not able to listen. But in that also, since the person who is evaluating the group is so seasoned enough, they can get the right person in place. But who is going to get the loss? You guys, because we would have picked up a right person from that fish market also. So you should get your time. The only thing which I tell is to the evaluator that please ensure that everybody will get a time to share the perspective. But from your side, try and really not make noises, and definitely raise your hand to give your perspective.
GD is different from a debate. Number one, it's not a debate. If you have an answer to say, raise the hand, wait for your turn, unless when somebody else is speaking, then you put your answer. You can try to do that 10 times. Still there is a scope, like what Sarah said, you are still getting up. In that punch, you still have a scope to get selected. But if you try to rise over the voice, debate over someone, you are at the wrong place and the wrong choice. Right, number two, sir, for the artificial intelligence. The name itself is artificial, it's not beyond human intelligence. Number one. And number two, if you're in this world of HR today, if you really want to get sustained, again, number one, what I'm advising every student is get trained and certified in the required HR tech industry today. Get a certification. There are many platforms like AI HR, even from, you can speak about Microsoft where you get trained in Power BI, because all the HR dashboards are becoming live dashboards today. I wanted to see what is my sales performance today. I need to say, even which HR requires to see what is the performance of the sales team. I need a live dashboard. I cannot go to every employee and ask. So get a certification done in AI-based HR industry. What are the things? And please decide. HR is a huge way, huge word. Decide in which one you want to step in. Talent acquisition, recruitment, employee engagement, and what is the area of interest? And get trained well in that and get into that. And number two, also get hands-on experience with the applications. We have many applications. KCAR, 24/7 HRM. We also have Zoho. We have my own company called Focus. So talk to the companies. Get an internship opportunity. Start working on their applications. Try to see how you can automate the hiring process. The 1 day of work, how can you do it in 2 hours? Or 1 week of activity, how can you do a smart onboarding? How can you do a smart exit? Everything is smart today. So, but make sure, as long as you don't do it, somebody else is doing it. Get certified, learn how to do it as an intern, and then get into the real-time market and apply all these skills. Nobody will try to do it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. What do you have?
Finally, we are done with the question and answer session. And a big thank you for the esteemed speakers. The dialogue has helped us get better understanding and help institute and industry to join hands to create some meaningful opportunities and create a future ready workforce. And next, I request our director sir come forward to felicitate our distinguished guest with memento installed. For this, first I would like to request the director sir to felicitate Mr. Shaleen Manik, Mr. Shaleen Manik, CHRO Transsion India Ltd. Captain Hyderabad. I've been playing safe not to mispronounce your name. Management and Mass Communication SMS to deliver vote of thanks.
Thank you, madam. Today the scene what I'm seeing here, I don't know when again I'm going to see such thing. All students sitting silently, disciplined. All in proper uniform. Because when we go to take the class, the moment we enter, you go out. Only then you realize that you have to drink the water and whatever you have to do. But great, this program was basically for you only. We started this HR Conclave organization, I think 1 year back, 1.5 years. And the main logic behind it is that our students should get first-hand information from the professionals of the industry. And that's why we invite HR heads who have lot of experience and who have the ability to answer all your queries. Today so many questions were asked, answered brilliantly by our HR persons. They cleared. So I think you always have so many doubts, but after this HR Conclave I am sure that your doubts have been cleared and what you have to do to perform well during your recruitment process and how to make a good career in corporate. All the queries have been answered, and for that I must thank our 4 resource persons, Mr. Shaleen Manik, CHRO Transsion India, Mr. Girish V, Head Business HR Exide Industries Ltd, Ms. Ruchi Chilana Group Head HR and Admin, Gateway Distriparks Ltd, New Delhi, and Mr. Kumar, Head HR, Focus Softnet, Hyderabad. Sir, thank you for taking your time coming here and solving the queries of our students who basically want to make a very good career, but they lack certain direction, and I think today they have got the guidance also, direction also, and I am sure that they are going to perform well when the recruitment drive starts there. And I request these 4 great persons would be there in the recruitment drive. Sometimes we are also like transactional. So do come and you would find that you won't be disappointed. We have 2 great moderators, Dr. Avinash Chandra Suttar, Anita Pandey. Both brilliant. I think the questions they have asked were all relevant. Even the questions they gave to you were also relevant. So, perfect program. I think results have been excellent. And our प्लेसमेंट टीम, DK त्रिपाठी जी, Mamna madam, they invited for our today's resource person from institute side, and convey my thanks to and our brother. So it was excellent. Then our thanks goes to the institute management, our director sir, who always encourage us to organize such type of activities, and I am sure that in coming times also such type of HR conclaves will be organized. And my last but sincere thanks goes to all my students for coming here and participating.
Let's call it a day now. Bye-bye and take care. But before discussing, we
Photograph at the near the fountain.
and ma'am wants one good photo here also. After we have clicked your photo, the students can network and they, if you wish, you can have all photographs with you.
Near the fountain?